All right. I want to thank everybody starting off, coming here today. It really means a lot to the Phoenix Police Department, to Silent Witness, as well as to the Hamilton family for the community's involvement in this case. I also want to thank the Hamilton family, extended family, for your guys' courage on telling Karissa's story. Karissa is no longer here with us, but she needs that rock to help share her story and convince the public out there that has that information, that knows exactly what took place, that caused your heartache, caused your pain, to come forward and allow detectives to continue their investigation to find the person overall responsible. Our goal with Silent Witness has stayed consistent. It's finding the person responsible for this tragic loss of a daughter, a mother, and a loved member of a family and our community. Our hope is that sharing Karissa's story with the public, allowing the media to be able to conversate and continue this discussion, will lead to further communication with our own families on how life can be cut short and how important it is to be involved in our community and to find the people responsible for these tragic events and hold them responsible. On the night of February 5th, 2023 at about 10 p.m., Karrissa Hamilton was found shot to death in her car. It was a dark gray Nissan Altima that was still parked with the engines going at Indian School Park off of 3rd Street and Indian School Road. The map over here, I want to bring to everybody's attention. This right here is the map of that parking lot where you see the yellow circle. We're hoping that this might influence people out there that are watching that can identify exactly where this is, and they may have seen, heard, or know about what took place on that horrific night. The location of this happened right in between Steele Indian School Park and the VA hospital. Again, I want to try to narrow this down as much as possible so that the viewers out there that are watching this know exactly where this is, and if they've seen just the smallest bit of information that might be able to help extend the detective's investigation, please call in to Silent Witness. Investigators, families, they're all asking that the community stand together and provide as much information as possible so that the detectives can find the person responsible. Karissa's family is still dealing with this loss, and they need help answering their questions. These answered questions will be able to help alleviate a lot of their pain. This is pain that's going to last them their entire life, but it can be mitigated just by the community's outreach and support for their family. Please help if you have any information by calling into Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS, 480-TESTIGO, or you can go on to silentwitness.org and provide an anonymous tip through that website. Keep in mind there is a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest. The family has worked together to provide $8,000 of that reward. Silent Witness was able to put in $2,000, making the grand total $10,000. Again, we're reaching out to get the help of our community to find the person responsible for this horrific crime. With that being said, there's a lot of people out there that do not know who Karissa was. They don't know the kind of personality, the infectious smile that she had. Sylvia, as mother to Karissa, is there any information, anything that you'd like to share with the public that can give them better understanding of who Karissa was and how her losses affected your family?
I'm sorry, she can't take I'm in talk right now. My name is Patty. I was Karissa's aunt. And Karissa was very special to me because part of her youth, my sister was in school here in Phoenix and she stayed behind with us and I helped raise her for many years. And Karissa to me was so special because even before she was born, she was letting me know she was here because believe it or not, I would wake up every morning throwing up, not knowing why. And that's because I didn't know my sister was pregnant with her. So who got the morning sickness? I did. I would wake up every morning throwing up and I'm like, why is this going on? And I'm like, the people are gonna think I'm pregnant and I'm not. But that was her letting me know, hey, get ready for me, I'm coming. And I'm gonna be someone special in your life. And she was. For many years, I helped raise her. She became a very special person in our family when I ended up getting married. She called herself my daughter's big sister. She was with me in the hospital, came with me and brought her home. Every trip we went, Karrissa was always with us. The last big trip we took, she didn't go because she had just had this little blessing right here, her son. And so we didn't take her. So we promised her, we'll take you on our next trip. So we planned on going this December. We were going to go to Disneyland and take him along with us because that would have been his first trip as well. Now we're not going to be able to do that. We won't have those special trips with her. There's a big void in our lives that she was the one that filled it because she was the first granddaughter. She was our first niece. For 10 years, she was our only one. And we cherished her, we loved her. She was quiet, a very quiet person. But when she did say something, she didn't hold back. That's one thing she didn't do. She was very serious. But she did have that infectious smile, like Dr. Brian said. She did have that big infectious smile, as you can see in her pictures. And she loved her family. She loved her son. She lived for him. Every decision she made from coming here to Phoenix was based on him, because she had not been here in Phoenix very long. She had moved in, was it August or September that she had moved? Last September, last year. Because of him. She wanted him to have better opportunities because she knew that here in Phoenix there was more for him. There was more. So every decision she made was for her son. She didn't have many friends here yet, but she did have cousins that live here, and those were her support here in Phoenix. But she left a big void. My daughter right now suffers greatly because of it. Because her big sister is gone. She can't go to parties. She goes home crying because she says she's not there anymore for us, Mama. And I miss her. I miss her so much. She was supposed to be my bridesmaid. When I got married, she was supposed to be my maid of honor. That's not going to happen anymore. And so yes, we get together, but it's not the same anymore. We just don't understand how this could have happened to her. She didn't mess with anyone. She was a perfect role model for her students. She had 2 bachelors. She graduated from NAU as well as from ASU with 2 different bachelors. So she was a very great role model for her nieces, her nephews. I mean, her cousins. I call them nieces because we see her more like my sister in a way too. But my daughter's going to be graduating this December, and she won't be there. And my daughter doesn't feel like it's going to be special because of that void that was left. Because Karrissa was a lot to us. She meant a lot.
Me and Karrissa were related from both sides, so she's, as we said, my double cousin. We came up with that. She was always a fixture. She felt like a sister as well to me. I always looked up to her. She was very serious, and she told you as is, which is really nice. I think sometimes you need to hear that. She didn't beat around the bush. She told you as is, and I really looked up to that because she was so true to who she was. And I always looked up to that because I was very more quiet and I guess kind of a pushover. So I always wished I was more like her. And luckily, I think as I'm getting older, I'm channeling inner Karrissa. I'm really going to miss just weekends binge watching Netflix. You know, I always said I was just a boring old person because that's all we would do. But looking back, now that I won't have that, I wish I could have it back. But what really keeps me going is this one, because he was her world, and now I think he's ours.
Hi, my name's Sylvia, and I was Carissa's mother. Karissa was my only child. She was my world. Her and then Kyrie. Karissa was very kind and humble. She liked doing things for people, but she always did it in the background where she didn't expect recognition. And I want to share a story. When she was about 8 years old, we were watching something on TV, and somebody had found money, like a large amount of money, and she said, "Oh, I wish I would find money." And I told her, I said, "You know, the best thing is when you stick your hand in your pocket and you find money." I said, "That's a really good feeling." So the next day when I went to work, I stuck my hand in my pocket and I had $5 in there that she had stuck the night before, because I would put my clothes, like set it on the side of the bed or somewhere that I would wear the next day to work. And she saw it and she put $5 in there of her own money. And as she got older, when she was an adult, she told me, she said, "Mom, you know, I don't want to find money." She said, "because that means that somebody lost that money." She said, "and they might need it." So she didn't want to find money, and that's the kind of person that she was. And she encouraged me to be better. I went to school because of her, because she said she wanted to be like me. So that's why I went back to school and got my degree, because she told somebody that she wanted to be like me. And she loved Kyrie, and everything she did for Kyrie, and he loved her so much too. And he respected her. I mean, she did a wonderful job with him. He listened. I mean, he listened to her. Like, she asked him to do something and he would do it. And she was just a wonderful, wonderful mother. And the holidays are coming, and just the change of weather. The change of weather makes me sad, because it just reminds me of her. And the holidays, just thinking of the holidays makes me sad, but I have something to look forward to, because I know Kyrie he loves Christmas, he loved Halloween, and I really, really miss her. Everything I do, I think about her, whether it's doing dishes, driving, anything. There's not one second of the day that I don't think about her. I really, really miss her. And they say that time heals. It's been 9 months, and it seems to be getting worse every day. I don't like being alone. I don't like being alone, because that's when I think more. I can't even look at pictures of her when I'm alone. I can look at pictures like when somebody else is there, because they distract me. But when I'm by myself, I can't. And please, if you know anything, please come forward. She was a really good person. She had a good soul. We don't know who could have done this. So please, if you know something, please come forward.
Hi, my name's Bryant. I was Carissa's stepfather. I've known her for a little over half her life. But I was fortunate enough to be in her life. She was great. She was extremely responsible, and I was fortunate enough to have her take my last name, even though I didn't adopt her. It was a great honor that she let me do that, and I think everyone else covered how she is, the person that she was. Just can't say enough good things about her. She was extremely smart. She was driven, and she really loved Kyrie, and that was her world. So that's all I have.
My name is David, and Karissa was my great niece. As mentioned earlier, she came to Phoenix to make a better life for her son Kyrie. What's up, buddy? And she actually stayed with us during that time until she was able to get on her feet. We had a lot of conversations, and one of the things that she told me that she desperately wanted to do is that she wanted to be a sports journalist. Sports journalism is what she wanted to do. She wanted to be on that sideline, in that locker room. Didn't matter the sport, but that's what she wanted to do. But she told me that her biggest nemesis was that dadgum teleprompter. Thank you, sir. Was the teleprompter. She, for some reason, that gave her a hard time. But that didn't stop her. She was still working toward that. In the family, and I'm sure it's like that with many family members, there are sports fans. You may have your favorite team, the Niners or the Cardinals, Cowboys. And we have family members that, that I can talk to them about their team, and they can tell you every sport, every stat, everything. But Karrissa, she could tell me things about basketball, baseball. I even try to throw a curveball and say, tell me about cricket. Well, I don't know that much, but there are like 11 people on the team, the second popular sports in the world. And I'm like, whoa. So you couldn't stomp her. You couldn't stomp her. And to see those dreams taken away from her is not only devastating to me, but it's devastating to the entire family. So if anyone out there knows anything, please contact Silent Witness, contact the Phoenix Police Department. Let them know, because the information you have, you may not think it's anything at all, but just throw it out there. Throw it out there. That's all I have.
So at this time, if anybody has any questions for the family, they'd be more than happy to answer any of those questions. After this, I will be available for questions as well.
I know you guys talk a lot about her. Can you guys go back to that day, or when was the last time you guys talked to her? And did she like to go outdoors into the park? Is there any indication, that you guys could share about, possibly what could have happened?
The only thing I can say is that she would normally call to let us know that she arrived in Phoenix, and my sister didn't get the call, so we started looking for her, because that's how she was. She would let us know, so we would look. We started calling. I told Mr. to call the police department, and she did that. Alexis and her husband and her brother started driving around Phoenix, the areas where they frequent at, and we started calling, and they told us call the hospitals first, and so we were calling the hospitals, and so we were doing it for hours, well into past midnight, into the early morning. So we were looking for her because we knew that was out of character for her. That's something that she would never do. She would always contact us, or she would let somebody know where she was at, but we didn't hear from her. So we were calling and looking for her the whole time. So at that time, starting to fear the worst, I was calling the hospitals, hoping that they would say, yeah, she's here. She wasn't in a car accident or anything, because that meant she was still alive. But there was something in my gut that said otherwise. And so that was the most devastating hours of my life, because I knew down inside that something happened to her, something terrible. But as I called the hospitals, I was like, please tell me she's there, even though if she's in critical condition. But that means she's still alive. And that didn't happen. And in the early morning, the sheriff went to see my sister. And Brian called me and said, get here, because your sister needs you. And I knew at that time that was the news, that she was gone. But never did I imagine someone would have hurt her, because she was a good person. She was a kind person. So that was one of the worst moments of my life, having to look for her and being told, no, she's not here, hospital after hospital. Yes, from Yuma. She was originally from Yuma, but like I said, she came down because she wanted to have Kyrie have the opportunities that he wouldn't have had there, being a smaller city than Phoenix. she had gone down because we had a baby shower for my brother's wife. They had a baby. We had a baby shower, so she had been there, and she was there with us. We did spend the weekend with her, and the only thing I regret is that every day, whenever she would leave, I would always give her a hug and tell her that I love her, and give her a kiss. And that day, for some reason, I didn't. I didn't give her her hug. I didn't give her her kiss and say I love you. And that really weighs me down because I wish I would have done that. I've done it every other time. Why not this time? Why didn't I say that to her this time? Well, she lived with her mom. She lived close by us. No, but not close. She lived on we live in a small town and live in a county, but she lived there for a very long time. But where the area where they found her? Oh, I apologize. No, she did not. I thought you were talking about the area where we from. No, she did not live in that area. Karrissa, estábamos en un baby shower para la esposa de mi hermano. Y ella estuvo con nosotros, estuvimos conviviendo como normalmente, hasta estábamos ahí porque el niño andaba de volado con una vecinita y entonces Karrissa estaba riéndose, le estaba dando carrilla diciendo, mira Karrissa, el niño, mira qué volado es. Y ella decía, wow, me están ignorando. Y tuvimos momentos muy bonitos y luego después el niño quería ir a jugar un parque, ella se fue con el niño a jugar y duró bastante tiempo con él, pero ahí estuvimos conviviendo en un ambiente familiar, estuvimos con ella platicando, bromeando y sí, y entonces estuvimos juntos por mucho rato allí.
¿Alguna palabra que se hayan dicho que ahorita pues lo atesoren ustedes? ¿La última vez que convivieron?
No, digo, estamos hablando nomás de lo que, del niño que quería ir a jugar y yo pues hablando de la niña, la niña con la que andaba de volado el niño, jugando, agarrándole la mano y dándole pues carrilla a ella porque nos gustaba dar carrilla y es lo que estábamos haciendo. Pero que palabras pues lo normal nomás, platicando, riéndonos. Pero sí, eso usualmente yo le decía antes de irme, despedirnos, siempre le daba un abrazo, le decía te quiero y le daba su beso, pero ese día no lo hice. Y es algo que voy a lamentar el resto de mi vida no haberlo hecho. Porque lo hacía todas las demás veces que la miraba, pero ese día no lo hice. Y es algo que voy a lamentar el resto de mi vida no haberlo hecho. Gracias. Era una desesperación porque el no saber dónde está, qué le había pasado. Hay tantos esquemas que pasan por la cabeza, ¿verdad? Alguien le hizo algo, la raptaron, estuvo en un accidente. Entonces es una desesperación grandísima porque estás llamando, buscando respuestas y no puedes hallarlas y sabiendo que no era algo que ella normalmente hacía. Ella nunca lo hacía. Ella siempre nos dejaba saber dónde estaba, le hablaba a su mamá al llegar a Phoenix para dejarla saber, mamá, ya llegué, para que nos esperara. O le hablaba a mi tía o a su esposo con los que estaba viviendo en ese momento, que dónde estaba. Y cuando no lo hizo y la empezamos a buscar, fue una desesperación grandísima, porque estar hablando y hablando hospitales y en ese momento yo ya estaba deseando que me dijeran, sí, aquí está, aunque fuera en condiciones críticas, porque de perdida ella iba a estar viva, y cuando me decían no y no, era como que esa esperanza que yo tenía estaba disminuyendo cada vez y ese dolor estaba creciendo, esa ansiedad estaba creciendo. Estuvimos por horas buscándola y el no tener ninguna respuesta de nadie y nadie saber de ella era algo que no sé cómo explicarlo, porque es como que el alma te la están apachurrando y te está sacando y te estás muriendo de vida por esa desesperación, porque estás buscando a un ser querido y no lo encuentras. Es una sensación tan fea que no, en realidad no quisiera que nadie viviera eso. Y luego Alexis, ella anduvo manejando, ella y su esposo y su hermano anduvieron buscándola por todo Phoenix. No sé si ella quiera compartir la sensación que tenía al estar haciendo eso. Oh, disculpa, no habla el español.
Muchas veces pues se nos adelantan y no tenemos la oportunidad de despedirnos. ¿Qué le dijera usted iba para la mamá también, a ella?
Yo le dijera que ella sabía que era mi mundo. Ella y ese bebé eran mi mundo y ellos son la razón por la que yo hacía todo lo que yo hacía. Era para ellos, para ella. Y ahora es para él. Cuando nos dijeron esa noche que la estuvimos buscando, oye, yo estaba dormida arriba con el niño porque yo tenía el niño. Y estábamos dormidos y oí él como el antrancar cuando atrancas la puerta de un carro. Y se oyó igualito que es un carro. Y le dije al niño, le dije, ya llegó tu mamá, se regresó. Y cuando bajé era el sheriff que nos dio la noticia. Y pensé en el niño. Eso fue lo primero que pensé, en ese niño que lo había dejado y que él ya no iba a tener a su mamá. Y él fue el que me dio fuerza a mí y el que me ha estado dando fuerza. Pero ella sabía que yo la quería mucho, ella siempre, y a él era el que le decía, you are the love of my life. Y a ella él más le decía a él, ya cuando nació él, y yo le quiero decir that she was always the love of my life. And her. 3 años. You want to say hi to mama? You miss mama? Just hace 2-3 semanas que paramos allí en Gila Bend. Vinimos a una cita del doctor de él, que paramos en Gila Bend. Había una tortuguita y le compró una tortuga para el cuarto de su mamá. Y hace 2 días me preguntó que cuándo iba a ser normal su mamá otra vez.
I just have one more thing that I want to say is that you spoke earlier about her attending a baby shower. But before she left Phoenix to attend that baby shower, she was at my house. And the last thing she said to me when she got in the car was, "See you later." So I want to say now, Karrissa, see you later.
Okay, with that being said, we see the pictures of Karrissa up here in front of me on the PowerPoint, on the slides. We see her smile that's bigger than ever. We see the hurt, the pain that the family has. We know somebody's out there that has a little bit of information, and we want to say from the deepest part of our heart is come out. Be that one person to step up, provide those details for detectives so that we can find the person responsible for this. Again, even if you don't have all the information, you don't have all the knowledge, just that one small puzzle piece can help the detectives with their investigation to really come together and figure out what took place on February 5th, 2023 at 10 p.m. I want to make sure that your viewers are completely aware of exactly where this took place. 300 East Indian School Road. It was the portion parking lot of Steele Indian School Park in between the VA hospital and the park itself. The map below me has a yellow circle, and it indicates exactly where Karrissa's car was parked. She was driving a gray Nissan Altima. The engine was still running when officers first responded to the scene and saw that she had been shot to death. So again, anybody that might be in the area, anybody that might have the slightest bit of information, may have heard it from a friend of a friend, please call into Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS or 480-TESTIGO. There's always the option of going on to silentwitness.org and providing that same exact tip, being completely anonymous. but being able to upload any pictures, any videos, any kind of information that you think that the detectives need to help them with this case. Yes.
So, was there an indication of when she was possibly shot? I know that she was found till 10 o'clock. Is that when you believe she was shot?
Yes, we believe that it was leading up to the 10 o'clock hour. So again, it's a busy park. Anybody who's been out there at nighttime, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, it's a busy park, and we're hoping that there's some viewers out there that might have remembered that cold February night and might have seen something. They might have been taking a picture with family nearby and might have captured something in the background. That's why we really wanted to highlight and indicate exactly where the car was when officers first came upon it.
Any indication of when the car got to that parking lot?
No, we don't have any indication of when the car got to the parking lot, but again, we're hoping that viewers might have that information based on video cameras, any kind of recording that they might have taken place, anybody in the area that might be able to provide those information and really be able to allow detectives to target a certain area and be able to find the person responsible.
Was there anything taken from her car when you guys found her, or is there any indication that that might have been a motive?
Yeah, so detectives are still going through the case. They're going through every piece of evidence related to the case, and as more witness tips come in, they're going to make sure that they follow up with every single one of those tips. As far as stuff that was taken from the car, we don't have any. We don't suspect anything was taken at the car, but again, if somebody out there does have information that may contradict that, please let us know. Please call into Silent Witness. Please call into 911. Provide that information to us.
Alluding to the question was, is there any suspicion that somebody was trying to break into her car? Did she have any defensive wounds? Any that could shed light on what could have happened in that vehicle and what was she in the driver's seat, in the passenger seat? Did you able to hear that?
Yeah, so I don't want to go deep into details on the case itself because a lot of those tips coming in, we want to make sure we verify was proper information. But I don't want to speculate on what the motives of the suspect might have been. What we know is a wonderful, infectious, smiling, a very respectful, and as we know, a very sports enthusiast. She was found deceased in her car with a gunshot wound. That's what we want to focus on, is finding the person responsible for that horrific deed. So yeah, she's originally from Yuma. She came up to Phoenix to stay with family. She went down to Yuma earlier that day to be part of a baby shower, and then she came back up that evening, and that's when she was found at the Steele Indian School Park in that specific parking lot, deceased.
Do we know if the suspect was in another vehicle, walking, or is part of the investigation?
No, those are questions that we have, that detectives and investigators have, and we're hoping that the community might be able to help us answer those specific questions that can lead to the person involved. So again, if they have any information on if the suspect came on foot, on bike, on whatever means it was, please call into Silent Witness and let us know. Okay, do you guys want to share when she left Yuma from the baby shower?
I think it was like 12:10 in the afternoon. She left about 12:10 in the afternoon. I remembered the exact minutes right now. I can't remember, but it was 12 something.
Yeah, it was actually the day after the baby shower.
Was it? Okay.
So the baby shower was Saturday and she left Sunday morning.
I did see that she graduated from ASU. Therefore, she was going back and forth, or was she staying at the dorm, perhaps?
No, she graduated from ASU in December of 2019. And no, she was working. So she was living here with my aunt and my uncle, and she had gone back to visit. And we had Kyrie. We had him for a couple of weeks, and that's why he was not with her. But he was normally with her, just not that evening. She was going to get him on Monday from me. I was going to bring him to her. So we were very fortunate that Kyrie was not with her that day. And she did have a sports journalism degree, so that's where.
So all the photos that we have up here, they will be shared with you. I will be sending them out shortly after the conclusion. I want to thank everybody again for coming out and joining us today and providing the community with the information, the stories that we learned here, in hopes that we find the person responsible for this tragedy. So thank you.